What happens when a series builds its whole identity around one simple idea? A wealthy couple who cannot resist playing detective, and a butler who has to keep up. Out of jet-setting cases, aspirational glamour, and an escapist, light-hearted tone came a show that knew exactly what it wanted to be. So how did that exact mix turn into a long-running series that audiences kept coming back for more? Let's find out. This is the history of Heart to Heart.
This is my boss, Jonathan Hart, a self-made millionaire. He's quite...
The starting point for Heart to Heart goes back to the early 70s. Screenwriter Sidney Sheldon wrote a pilot script titled Double Twist about a married couple who lived double lives as spies. The script was never produced and it sat unused for years. In the late 70s, when ABC began looking for a high-style romantic mystery series, producers Aaron Spelling and Leonard Goldberg revisited Sheldon's dusty script and saw a workable foundation inside it. The spy element mattered less than the central idea of a confident married couple facing danger together. To reshape the concept for television, Spelling and Goldberg brought in Tom Mankiewicz, a writer known for his work on James Bond films. He modernized the idea by first retitling the project to Heart, then removing the spy angle and shifting the couple into wealthy civilians who continually stumbled into mysteries for the thrill of it.
Quite a guy. This is Mrs. H.
Casting the series focused on finding leads who could carry the show. Leonard Goldberg's first instinct for Jonathan Hart was deliberately ambitious. He reached out to Cary Grant, hoping the legendary actor would come out of retirement. But Cary Grant declined, and that idea went no further, but it set the tone for what Goldberg wanted. That search led to Robert Wagner. Goldberg later said Wagner was the closest match to what they wanted, describing him as good-looking, charming, and capable of handling comedy. So Wagner was cast as Jonathan Hart. For Jennifer Hart, Wagner pushed strongly for Stefanie Powers. Tom Mankiewicz agreed from the beginning, but network executives were less certain. So they looked at different actresses like Lindsay Wagner, Suzanne Pleshette, and Kate Jackson. There was also a discussion of casting Wagner's real-life wife, Natalie Wood, but the concern was that audiences might not accept a real married couple playing one on TV. Eventually, Stefanie Powers was cast, and her chemistry with Wagner soon became the core of the series. The final piece was Max, the Hart's butler. Wagner initially wanted former boxer Sugar Ray Robinson for the role, but ABC rejected the idea. The role instead went to Lionel Stander, a veteran character actor Wagner had worked with before. Stander's gravelly voice and blunt warmth defined Max immediately. His performance was widely praised, and in 1983 he won a Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor in a television series. Together, Wagner, Powers, and Stander became the central cast around which the series was built on. The sound of Heart to Heart was designed to match its fantasy, light, stylish, and instantly recognizable. The series theme and score were composed by Mark Snow, who at the time was already known as a television composer. The theme's lasting impression came from how it worked alongside Lionel Stander's narration. He introduced the characters over music, and for many viewers, the combination of Snow's theme and Stander's delivery became inseparable from the show's identity. Beyond the theme, Snow's episode scoring supported the show's light-hearted, adventurous atmosphere. Heart to Heart premiered on ABC in 1979, and from the start it attracted viewers with its mix of mystery, comedy, and romance. The ratings reflected that appeal. The first season performed solidly, landing around the middle of the network rankings. Early reviews, though, were mixed, but recognized the show's stylish charm. Several noted that the show leaned more toward fantasy than procedural realism, but many accepted that as part of its appeal. The Orlando Sentinel described the series as showing signs of becoming a slick, fairly sophisticated detective fantasy, singling out Robert Wagner and Stefanie Powers as a polished and appealing pairing. Comparisons to the Thin Man films surfaced almost immediately. Critics drew parallels between Jonathan and Jennifer Hart and the classic husband and wife dynamic of Nick and Nora Charles. The New York Times described the series as having a superficial sophistication, but acknowledged its effectiveness as light escapism rather than a serious drama. As the series found its rhythm, its viewership increased. Around its third season, it peaked approximately in 15th place in the Nielsen ratings, then remained strong the following year, ranking in 17th. Industry recognition followed. Both Wagner and Powers received multiple Golden Globe nominations for their performances, and Powers also earned Emmy nominations.
Tuesday, the Heart's Highland Fling is on the rocks.
I think I could use a little scotch.
Heart to heart.
Behind its polished surface, Heart to Heart was shaped by constant behind-the-scenes negotiations over what the show was allowed to be. One of the biggest ongoing battles involved the Harts' marriage. Network executives repeatedly pushed for more conventional television drama. Suggestions included giving Jonathan and Jennifer a baby, introducing jealousy, or even adding an extramarital affair to create tension. The producers and the actors pushed back hard. Wagner later recalled that the jealousy angle came up many times, but the creative team refused to compromise. Goldberg defended the original concept to ABC by describing the Harts as a couple who had been married for years but were still on their honeymoon. In the end, the show remained free of marital conflict, children, and long-term domestic drama. Despite the show's glamorous appearance, the production budget wasn't really high. The illusion of wealth came from careful production design and presentation. Costumes also played a major role in selling the fantasy. Stefanie Powers' wardrobe was designed by Nolan Miller, who later became famous for his work on Dynasty. Her outfits helped define Jennifer Hart as stylish and confident, reinforcing the aspirational tone of the series. Fatigue occasionally led to moments of laughter. Powers later recalled a day involving Florence Henderson where the cast could not stop laughing and the production had to be paused. Much of the intimate playful banter between Jonathan and Jennifer was either improvised or rewritten by the actors themselves. The Hart family dog became part of the show's identity as well. Freeway was rescued from an animal shelter where he was originally named Charlie Gray. His on-screen name came from being found near a freeway, and Stefanie Powers became particularly attached to the dog. During the third season, the production was shaken by real-life tragedy. In November 1981, both Natalie Wood, Wagner's wife, and William Holden, Powers' longtime partner, died unexpectedly within weeks of each other. Filming was halted to allow the actors time to grieve. Despite the loss, they both returned to the series and production continued without major disruption. After 5 seasons, Heart to Heart came to an end in 1984. By the 5th season, the show had slipped roughly to the mid-30s in the Nielsen rankings, yet it remained popular internationally and continued to generate value through syndicated reruns. According to Robert Wagner, the cancellation was a surprise. He later said the show was airing in 87 countries and was still really rolling overseas when ABC decided to pull the plug. The timing made the decision even more frustrating because the production team had already begun planning season 6. Wagner revealed that 4 scripts were in hand, 2 of them ready to go, and that Stefanie Powers was already in Paris preparing to begin filming. Wagner recalled having to phone Powers overseas to tell her the show was over, a moment that left her devastated. Wagner and Powers tried to save the show by exploring the possibility of continuing the series in first-run syndication, but sadly, that plan fell apart. Wagner later explained that producing new episodes could have undercut the value of existing reruns already making money in syndication. Years later, the complete series was released on DVD by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. All 5 seasons were issued in season sets, making the full run available for home viewing for the first time. The DVD releases did not include extensive special features and were primarily intended just to make the series accessible to fans rather than serve any extra features. For fans who want to add the series to their collection, I've added a link in the description below, and there should also be a card popping up on screen to make it easy for you to check it out. Although the original series ended in 1984, Heart to Heart did not disappear. Between 1993 and 1996, the series was revived through 8 made-for-television movies. Robert Wagner, Stefanie Powers, and Lionel Stander all returned. The first of these films aired nearly a decade after the original ended, showing Jonathan and Jennifer Hart as older but still very much in love and still stumbling into mysteries together. The reunion movies reflected the continued viability reliability of the characters and the world they inhabited. Today, the show is remembered for its longevity and its distinctive blend of mystery, romance, and comedy, sustained through reruns, home media, and the revival cycle that extended the franchise well beyond its original broadcast run. And we're not done yet. Next time, we're diving into the history of a different kind of show. Until then, why don't you check out our deep dive into Forever Knight. Thanks for watching, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.